Yes, guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102, the Game On Challenge, part 31 with myself and Matt Collier-Brown. So, we have reached that next milestone, and I'm probably going to say that at the end of every season. So, we've got to the end of season 25, we've literally got to the start of season 26. Where do I start? Cast your mind back to the previous part where we both just got given new jobs. Sure you can remember that. Matt took over at Chelsea. I took over at Manchester United. Truth be told, I probably started with a slightly better team and a little bit more money in the bank. And probably generally the reputation was probably a little bit higher as well. That being said, right, we've both endured tough times in England, especially Matt. I mean, we concluded the season only this evening, and we all have bad sessions, but fuck me, this was a session from hell, which proved real costly for him. Let's start with Matt first. We'll go to the end of last season in a moment. So this is Matt's squad. Obviously, season 26 is upon us. You're not going to recognise any names here. In fact, let's make sure we're on me, because Matt probably might still have some nicknames going about. So this is we'll start then with Matt. And he's done some solid signings. He's still got one more, remember, of his 7. So this guy here, I mean, I didn't even spot this guy. I didn't even spot this guy come in, and he's an absolute beast for left back. That's a great signing, and it only cost him 350 grand. Andres Garcia. Now, the story behind Garcia, former club, of course, AC Milan, is I just went to him, and just when I went to make a bid for him, he just agreed a contract with Chelsea. So Matt got there in nick of time. I mean, he will make a lot of difference to Matt. Matt's had to strengthen in certain areas, and that is the sort of quality that he needs. Juan Luis Arias, not sure if he's going to be a starter this season. Certainly has the potential to really, stake a claim to be a worldie. But nevertheless, looks decent, even at the age of 19, or soon be 20. Mauricio Montenegro. Now, I recognise his name when Matt pointed him out. I remember looking at him when I was at River Plate. 29 years of age, or he's going to be 30 soon. And as I said to Matt, with defenders, you've got to really allow for them to be a little bit older, get a little bit more from the experience perspective. And he is solid. He is very solid. And as you can see, he's been in a playable league at Malaga, and he's been very consistent. So, he'll be a good signing there. James McPhee. Now, that is what we believe, or pretty certain, that is Mark Kerr regen. Matt's been chasing him for a while, and funnily enough, Everton, his team, got relegated last season. It didn't have a release clause, but was able to pick him up, and I think he's got himself a really good signing there. Whether he'll play this season initially, I don't know, because, I mean, I think he's... for Matt's tactics, which is a 4-4. Let's just take a look at Matt's tactics. I'll show you what it is. Matt's tactic. Spoiler alert there. The one game I went to. Spoiler alert. Matt won the FA Cup. What a spastic. There you go. Matt won the FA Cup. I got knocked out to Arsenal in a replay. His tactic is that. So where you see G. Carter there, the number 8, is probably where that Mark Kerr regen will play, I would imagine. So, spoiler alert there. We were both knocked out the League Cup. I think we were both out the League Cup on the last update, but Matt brilliantly won the FA Cup. The league wasn't quite Matt's. It fell apart, and as you can see, the bad session starts around here. Arsenal, we lost 3-0. Lost at home to Portsmouth. Lost to Sheffield United 4-3. Lost the last game of the I didn't even spot that, the last game of the season. But the worst part of it for Matt, this is the worst part of it. You may recall, in fact, go back a minute, before that, the Arsenal, he beat Liverpool, he lost to me, he drew with Fulham, he got thrashed at Luton. He had an absolute horrid run, which wasn't just costly in the league, but it made him finish 4th. Now, I told you before how important it was to finish in the top 3, because Matt has not made the Champions League. Only the top 3 made the Champions League in England. The coefficients table still showcases England as 5th. So, and it's been confirmed he will be in the UEFA Cup. Well, that is that. Arsenal obviously will qualify for the UEFA Cup, given them being runners-up in the FA Cup, so they should be they should have a slot there, I believe. And as far as the league title is concerned, then, in fact, hang on, did we look at Matt's last player? Did we look at Matt's? Just go back to that. Oh yeah, it's a Rezendi. Not a bad player. I mean, we did speak about defence was really difficult. So I think Matt's picked up a good player, and he has got one more signing to go. Let me remind you. So before we go to my signings, we won the title. We won it with a few games to spare, but probably looks a little bit more flattering by saying that, because it was really tough. It was tough. Watford. I had 2 games back to back. Watford followed by Chelsea, and we lost against Watford. And obviously, you saw the result against Chelsea. We got the double over Chelsea because we took over with our first league game being against Chelsea. But we held firm. But we got knocked out of the League Cup. The FA Cup to Arsenal. We got knocked out of the UEFA Cup in horrible fashion. But I'll tell you, you'll see where we got knocked out. You know, when you get to the UEFA Cup 4th round and you're still in the FA Cup, it's all fucked up there. See, so the second leg, we lost the first leg 1-0. And in all fairness, we didn't really have any complaints. We lost the first leg 1-0. Second leg, then, we drew 1-1. They got an away goal, and we were fucked. 2 days later, we had the FA Cup, which we ended up drawing, but lost the replay. But you know what? I did say to Matt, fuck them both. The league was obviously paramount. We played our second string in the last 2 games. It was 2 games to spare, I think, actually, not 4. And look at that, they just didn't step up. So I knew at Man U we needed to buy. So, my 7 signings, I've purchased them all. Now, 2 of them I had lined up to come on an unprotected deal. I actually had 3. Kutuzov was a 3rd one I was going to get, the regen, but I pulled out of that in the end. First player, Bert Marbus. I was very happy to get him. Cost us a few quid, but from Milan. And this guy here, Young Tank Hong from Juventus, again on a unprotected deal, 3.4. Very, very happy. I did have, like I say, the Kutuzov deal coming through, but I decided to pull out of that because I was able to get these guys, and I just felt they were better. So the first of our other signings, although we had 5 more, Bente Lai. I'm very, very happy with that. It didn't cost us too much, 4.8. And I think he looks the bollocks. So very, very pleased indeed. I needed to strengthen defence, and that was certainly a good way to start. This next one, well, this surprised Matt. I found him on a scout, and I had to wait for the work permit. Marcelo Lima de Souza. What a beast! What a beast! Hasn't got the finishing that I desire on a striker, but he does hold a lot of the other key attributes. I'm hoping he's going to be really, really key for me, because provisionally I'll give him the number 9 number. I've even done my numbers there, you see. Followed by Omar Lozano. Lot of money spent for him, as you can see. You can see why. 28 years of age. I'll get 2 good years out of him. That's the objective. Was very, very pleased indeed. Jens Hansen. Actually brought this guy here first. This guy here actually came in first. Dirk Schultz. Because, again, another strong central defender. They actually celebrated that. £13 million, again, from AC Milan. And the reason I said that this Hansen was last player, because I remember saying to Ian, that's my 7th. But you can see it was on the same day. Jens Hansen, nothing special. Quite cheap. 1.1. We still got money to spend. I mean, we've still got £100 million, I believe. I mean, when I bought that goalkeeper, I could have actually held out. And got, but it was very difficult to buy a goalkeeper. So I can't spend that money because I've met my quota of 7 signings. What Matt could do is he could save that 7th signing until the end of the season. Because obviously at the end of the season last season we couldn't buy anybody because the window opened in June. So it was before the update. But obviously unprotected deals, they go through on July the 1st, as you know. So that's that. Right, so very, very quickly. Now you may recall the update last season was over in the blink of an eye. Went through it again this evening. 60 seconds. Literally both updates done. And I can't understand. I've not done anything to the PC. I do scans and shit. But it's almost as if... it's like my internet seems a bit slower to do streams. But the update, which takes like 10-15 minutes ordinarily. Unfucking believable. But hey ho. So that is me all set up for the new season. Like I say, I've made my provisional setup. Did a bit of offloading, to be honest with you. What's that? Future transfer. Oh, he's going. Oh. Shit. Well, this is one for you here, Matt, if you want him. I need to pull out of that. I'll pull out of it here, but I need to pull out of it when we fire our game up. It was a deal I had in. You can get him for 500 odd grand. I mean, you can get him for less than what I just offered. Oh, Matt's already tracking him. Oh, shit, right, okay. And Inter. Either way, I can't get him. I didn't realise I had that deal in. Players out then. So we sold some shocking defenders. I mean, defence really let me down last season. It was poor. I mean, Mendy and Barbosa did sign new deals, but I just decided to offload them. Patrick De Haan was out of contract. He got a red card and he wound me up, so I transfer listed him. He was on a Bosman anyway. Then Ajax came in for him on an unprotected offer, so I got given £1.1 million for him, which was fair enough. And we offloaded that goalkeeper there, Neil Rouse, which I actually regretted doing because I didn't realise I went down to 2 goalkeepers. Had I not have sold this guy, I'd have probably not needed to have brought a third goalkeeper in. So it's my own fault. We live and learn, don't we? So I've got a provisional lineup. Ashley, who was my captain last season, picked up 3 red cards. The third one being penultimate game of the season, or third from last. So he serves a 3-game, well, I think it was 4-game ban. But he's not going to break in because, let me show you, I don't think I showed you this, did I? Yeah, let me just show you the remaining signings then that we made at Man United when we took over. So our first signing was Andy Harris. We brought in Nuno Faria, who's probably going to be my number 1 goalkeeper this season. Sol Mansell, not a clue who he is, who he's a regen of, shall I say. But nevertheless, look at that, 26 in 27. You could argue I didn't need another goalkeeper, another striker, but here he is. I wasn't competition. Granchev, was very pleased with him. Cornelisi did very, very well for me. John Shirley, he was already a pre-arranged deal for me. Did get me a red card and angered me a little bit. We brought in this guy, Jurgen de Winter, did very well for me. He's going to be in my provisional lineup as the left winger. And we brought in Giacomo Bambi, one of my ex-players, of course, at Inter Milan. Now, you may recall, if you followed this series, you'll know, had a lot of issues with Bambi, pushed the referee over and got a 6-month ban. Came back strong. I think it was over here that he had that 6-month ban. But then, as you can see, he came back really strong. And he came available. But he did get injured for 3 months. I think it was February. He got injured for 3 months, or just at the end of February. Out for 3 months, a little bit angry, did a medical report, had issues, sent him for rehabilitation, 4 months. Right thing to do. In fact, what we'll do very, very quickly, let's just see if they've got any more issues. No more issues. We've also did a good setup on our coaching and scouts and physios, staff, shall I say. We've also did a bit of work over here. Oh, George Mason, I was going to get rid of him, but then I gave him a new deal, so he's actually going to go with my youngsters. The youngsters are not great youngsters at all. They're just squad fillers, in all honesty. So we are pretty much, I mean, he's going to probably go. I mean, look at that, he's awful. But he will stay as a squad player, because the bottom line is, I was trying to work something out. So what we've got here, we've got 12... We've got 28 players in the senior squad, so 3 of them are going to miss out on the Champions League. I say 3 of them. De Souza can wait actually until after the winter, so technically it could be just 2 of them. So I'll have to try and work out provisionally who the 2 are going to be. One of them is definitely going to be Favre, if that's what you call him. I called him Flavia for some reason. And the other one will probably be John Evans, I would imagine. And then probably eventually, I mean, I might just name De Souza, because I'm probably going to take this guy out as well, who let me down last season. I was close to selling that cunt. It will be them 3, so I'll probably just name, so I don't forget in the on the winter, assuming I reach that stage, that is, of course. So Matt, I think Matt's done some really good building. Now, considering not being in the Champions League is fucking critical for Matt. It is really crucial, but I genuinely think he's got a really good chance. Surprised that they make Luis Hugo as a star man. I personally wouldn't agree with that. Lundell, solid defensive midfielder. Has he just bought him? No. I think he was already there. I know he wanted. I mean, to be honest with you, right, we said this a lot of times last season when we both hit a really shit run. the squad depths are shit. For what we both had, they're really shit, and there's just no quality in it. One of Matt's better signings from last season was this guy here, Halvard Ronan. I think he got him for £1 million. I think he had a release clause, and credit where it's due, he's been brilliant. Matt even said he's been his best player. Matt's overall signings for last season, since he took over, Ron Rowland was his first one. Now, I spoke about, he's done it. He has given him a new contract. Of course he has, because he had a release clause. Ron Rowland, Valenti, you may recall Valenti. I don't know if you saw that in the previous one. David Nordin. I think David Nordin's a fairly decent player, young, vibrant. Johan Hangland, he must have had somebody out at the on a Scandinavian search. Doesn't really use wingers, but I think he's a fucking great player. I would have this guy in my lineup. Definitely, he would definitely play a part if I had him. Christopher Johansson. Well, I didn't even pay attention to this before. What a fucking goalkeeper he is. I didn't pay attention to this before, but they're all Scandinavian. 1, 2, 3, 4. Valenti, was he? No, four players. And Ivan Ferreira dos Santos. I'm not sure how well he did. Yeah, Matt would have been really disappointed with him. I don't know if Matt's done much on his coaching. He must have actually, because he seems to have. Yeah, he's got them. He needs one physio, maybe one retired. And that is it, guys. That is part 31 of this fucking epic of a game. Done and dusted. It really is quite fucking sensational. You're all asking yourself now. You're all asking yourself. You're thinking, so I took over Man United and I won the league, which little pat myself on the back there. No one else would do it. And where does that leave me? I've not really got any desire to leave Man United this season. I'd like to have a full season at United. It's a theatre of dreams. It's a big stadium. I am getting confused, right? Because obviously I'm Chelsea. I have been Chelsea in one of my other games, and Matt's been Man United in this game, and sometimes it gets a bit confusing as to fucking who's who. Matt did consider, I know he did, like, leaving. I think Juventus offered him, that was it. Juventus offered him a job. He didn't apply. I didn't even know Juventus was vacant, but all of a sudden they offered him it. Ajax came available, Feyenoord came available. I think because he was going for a bad run, you sort of overthink things, and you think, I might go, but I think he's done the right thing in staying, to be honest with you. He knows he needs to mount a serious title challenge. Let's just have a look at the coefficients. I'm sure England is... Oh, no, they got up to 4th. Okay, so for the benefit of you here, Matt, so England have got up to 4th. So I think, right, that changes every season. Now, do you remember when we had that with Italy? Italy were 4th, and it said 3 Champions League spots. And then as the season went update, they went to 3rd, and the 4 places applied there and then, right at the start. So I said to Matt, you never know. So don't look like... I mean, they're very close behind Germany. You and I both know why Italy is running riot with, the coefficients table, and that's because of my time at Inter Milan. And even after that, right? Even after my time at Inter Milan, let's take a look. I'll show you, because they finished 5th last season. Where are they? They finished in the top 4 last season. The season before. Let me just start that. Let me just fucking say that in bloody English. So they finished 4th the season before last, qualified for the Champions League. Last season finished 5th. Had to have a playoff with Bologna, who finished 4th. Now, obviously I put this question out there before. Why? What's it for? Apparently it's for prize money. But Perugia won the Champions League. Bizarrely, they won the Champions League. So, to my reckoning, they will be in the Champions League, along with Inter Milan, who won the title, Salernitana, who finished 2nd, Roma, who finished 1st, and Bologna. So, let's take a look at Bologna, actually. Yeah, but so Bologna then. Bologna there finished, have had the qualifier. And who was the other team, did I just say? Roma, weren't it, weren't it? Let's just check Roma. They would have had a Champions League qualifier, I'm sure. No. Or maybe it was Salernitana then. They obviously won the UEFA. Oh, no, that's not. That's the charity. What's that? Is that the Charity Shield? Yeah, they must have finished 2nd then. Okay, so let's just look at Salernitana then. Did they finish? Who was it? Champions League. There you go. Champions League qualifier. So they must have finished third. Roma second. And that's it, guys. That's enough from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. You'll notice I've abolished the intro and outro bullshit for 2 reasons. 1, it's cringy, isn't it? It's fucking cringy. I'll try and come up with something different. 2, for some reason, my video overlaps it, and I don't know why, so I just thought it looked a bit wanky. So, hope you enjoyed it. And very, very quickly, now I don't normally call people out here, apart from TGR, who's a cunt. I forget who you are. Larry, or something. So, I think it was Larry, I might have that name wrong. So, someone put a bitchy comment on the last part, actually, of this, part 29 or 30, and said, dude, your mic's crap. You're shouting. Stop shouting. Firstly, right, my answer to that is fuck you. If you don't like it, fucking unsubscribe, turn off. I don't give a shit, right? I've got, I don't need to justify myself to anybody, but just for the benefit of things like snowflakes, I have a disclaimer, which is on my channel, and, I shout, I swear. If you don't like it, it's tough fucking shit. I couldn't give a flying fuck. So, Larry, enjoy, right? And if you listen to this, Larry, right, then you're clearly still paying attention. But you can fuck off if you think I'm buying a new mic. If you want to buy me a new mic and send it to me, fucking hell, fill your boots. I'll happily take it. Okay, guys, that's it from me. If you want anything doing on CM, anything you want, player profiles, got a little bit of time on my hands, any analysing, anything, 3-man game maybe, anything to do with this heads-up game, anything to do with a solo game, if you want me to review your save, send it to me, let me know. Till next time from me, guys, take it easy. Boom.